This is Sony's VAIO Duo 13, and today we're going to take a look to see if it can live up to the Sony reputation. We'll start off by taking a look at the design on the VAIO Duo 13. Now, as you might imagine, this is very similar to the 11-inch variation. We'll take a close look at all the different sides, though. On the front of the machine, there is nothing there. On the right of the machine, we have a stylus holder. Okay, so this is going to be when you're working at a table, and this will hold your stylus. There is no holder, though, for the stylus while you're traveling, so that's a bit cumbersome. On the left-hand side, there is the simple power button right here, but that's about it in terms of these sides. All the port magic, so to speak, is actually on the back. So let's take a closer look at these. So on the back end, we have the power connector, we have a headphone jack, two USB 3.0s, one is powered but off, an HDMI out, and then a memory card reader, which takes standard SD cards, and of course Sony's odd proprietary format. We'll also find the vent back here. If we turn the tablet to the bottom, I'm sorry, it's a hybrid, but you'll see why I keep mistaking it as a tablet. If we turn to the bottom, we actually have four feet. Two are plastic, they're in the different corners, and two are rubberized. They keep decent traction on the table, although we wish they were all rubber. There's also an NFC capability right here, as you can see. It's on the back of the tablet, which is a bit odd, but you know, we'll take it. At least they put an NFC. And then we have a webcam over here. It's an HD rear-facing webcam. Now, something that's a little bit odd that they decided to put on the back is the volume control buttons. So right here on the bottom, we actually have the volume up, volume down, and the assist button, which launches Sony's VAIO Care software. It's a bit odd because if you're using this in tablet mode, you're going to be holding it in landscape, such as this. Okay, and when you're holding it in landscape, these buttons are over here, so it's kind of a weird angling to put them at. One is slightly raised, and the assist button's a little depressed, but it can be difficult, and we really wish they would put it on the side or just found a better location for it. When this is being used as a tablet, the ports are nice and accessible. They're at the top. We have a nice headphone jack. Overall, the design is beautiful when we're talking about this thing as a tablet. But we're going to take a look at this because this is a 2-in-1. So this is going to turn into a laptop. But the view, or how I feel about it, is going to quickly change. I feel it is definitely an awesome 13-inch tablet. But as you're about to see, the laptop mode has stuff to be desired. So this is the tablet flat down. To engage it into a laptop style mode, you're actually going to push up on the back, and this is going to cause it to spring up. Okay, now it's a bit of an odd choice. There's some reasons why we're a little concerned about the durability, which I'm about to show you. In general, though, when this slides up, there's actually two hooks back here that are supposed to hook onto the display to keep it nice and stable. But as you saw when I just opened it, okay, now it happened, but before it didn't, and then you get this wobbly screen issue. So just make sure when you're opening this, you gotta kind of apply a little pressure, go slowly, and it will catch the latches on the back. Just to show you what I'm talking about, you can see the little metal latches that catch the screen and hold it down. Now, one of the reasons we're not very keen on this idea is because if I put the laptop into tablet mode, I've gone to the local Sony stores, and you get a lot of people who just pull at it. Like, they'll pull from this end, and they're not really sure how it opens, and it just looks like they're gonna break the thing in half. So there's a little concern there that if you don't know how to use it, or if you hand it to a friend, they might accidentally, you know, try to open it like a regular laptop and totally break the hinge. Speaking of the hinge, let's open this up so we can actually look at that. The hinge is located here in the back, and we're not a huge fan because, as you can see, there's cabling We can actually see cables. There's ribbon cables and wires. It's a little bit odd that we can see that. I mean, Sony has a really high-end product here. And we would have expected them to have put something so you can't see the wires. I don't really think you're going to have an issue. I mean, unless your hand gets back there or, you know, but it's kind of an odd point that they would just leave those wires. There you go, you can see them even better. I'm trying to rotate this. Exposed there. So that's a bit odd of a choice that they went with. So let's say you do want to use this unit in laptop mode, which makes complete sense. Once we spring it up, we have this keyboard and this tiny itty-bitty trackpad revealed. Now, this is why this doesn't feel like a full 2-in-1. This kind of feels like a 13-inch tablet that Sony threw a keyboard and ridiculously small trackpad on. So first evidence is the keyboard itself. It's not a terrible keyboard. If you're someone who writes a lot, if you're a student who has a lot of essays to type, you may not be a fan of this keyboard down here. It's a bit shallow, okay? So it's not the best keyboard. It's a bit shallow. There's not much key pop back when using the keyboard. So that can definitely be an issue when using this unit. Second of all, if you actually take a closer look at the trackpad itself, this is a very small trackpad. If I take, let's say I have a Sharpie next to me, okay, the trackpad is smaller than the Sharpie's cap. Okay, it's literally like almost half the size of the Sharpie's cap. So take a Sharpie next to you for comparison, because wow, I mean, this trackpad is like a little bit bigger than the space bar. There's no room to work here. So that is one of the reasons this feels like an afterthought, the terrible trackpad. Now, the trackpad technically is an upgrade. The VAIO Duo 11-inch had an optical track point. I'm sorry, it's not track point, that's Lenovo's term. A pointing stick, an optical pointing stick, which was kind of poor, so this is the way to bring the trackpad to the masses who like the Duo. The other reason, though, that we feel like it's just not a great machine on the desk is because, remember those volume buttons? They're under here now, so don't think about accessing those. You do have some hotkeys that you can access by hitting FN, but those keys are now buried under there. And if you want to access any of the ports, you gotta spin the entire unit around to get there. So putting in a flash drive or plugging in your headphones can actually be a little bit annoying. If you've ever used a laptop, you know that you love to use the ports on the side. The ones in the back are usually hated, and in this case, everything is on the back. I don't want to give you a wrong opinion of this machine. It's a very nice machine. The issue is, it feels like a tablet. It feels like it was designed to be a tablet, and then the thought of making it a hybrid laptop came in later. That's what it feels like. Now, don't misunderstand me. I do think there's a target market for this notebook, or tablet, or hybrid, or 2-in-1, or whatever you want to call this thing. And I think that's the artist community, quite frankly. You have this included stylus, which is probably the selling point of the device itself. If we go ahead and scroll over, Sony provided 2 of their apps to work with, which include Art Rage Studio Pro. So no Lite Edition, you get a full Pro version of their software, and this note-taking software also. The note-taking software is nice, but we are going to assume, because of the cloud abilities and you wanting to access your notes from Windows Phone, you're probably going to just want to stick with Evernote or OneNote or one of those more popular services. The included Art Rage Studio is quite cool, though. I can't draw, so let's not take this too serious, okay? But Art Rage Studio is included, and it really allows you to, it's basically fresh paint on steroids. It's a beautiful array of different tools here. Half these I don't know what even they are. I cannot draw for my life, as you can see by this deformed alien thing. But there seems to be an art focus on this machine as soon as you pick it up. Working with Photoshop or Illustrator, or just sketching, if you're someone who sketches, I feel like this is a great notebook for the artist, quote unquote. I mean, even as you're using it, we have this little holder that they actually included for you to just nestle your pen in there during use. So I can, open something up like Note Anytime for VAIO. And that's fun. It's saying, here's a storyboard. Okay, so this looks artsy. And then, I can go ahead and work on this. I can draw, and then I can hold the stylus. But that's what this seems to be aimed at. It's a beautiful 1080p resolution screen. This comes packed up to a Core i7, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and even over a half a terabyte SSD, which is just wonderful. So that's what it seems to be aimed at. If you're looking for the best Ultrabook tablet, this probably isn't where you want to be. You probably want to check out something else like Sony's Flip Unit or Lenovo's Yoga. But this seems to be a great machine for the artist. So there you go. The Sony VAIO Duo 13 may not serve as the best Ultrabook, but if you're looking for something that can handle your artwork, the included stylus and HD 1080p screen might just be what you're looking for.